What is up, guys? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. We're going to go over the Week 11 waiver wire tonight. If you guys are new to the Fantasy Fellowship, please hang out with me for the next, 25 minutes, half an hour or so. If you guys do have questions for your waiver wire, you guys can get them in the chat. I'm going to read the news and go over my player waiver wire report. So if you guys do have questions, I'll come back to those in just a few minutes. Good evening to Harris. I see you, my man. I'm going to start with, we'll come back to the favorite ads list. Injuries to monitor for this week. We have Jackson Dart with a concussion. A little bit worried about this one. I don't think he's going to play in week 11 against the Packers. It's a home game for them, so he doesn't have to travel, which is nice. But just anytime we see a player get a concussion, they're probably going to be sitting for that next game. And I believe Dart's been checked for 3 or 4 concussions on the season already this year. So we'll find out, I think, tomorrow. With them playing on Sunday, the early slate, we'll find out tomorrow their first practice report if Dart's anywhere close to playing, or maybe the Giants have to, name Russell Wilson as starter. Maybe they have to name Jameis Winston. So we'll watch for that one. Jaden Daniels, they said he's going to be evaluated after the bye, so there's a chance he could play for the fantasy playoffs, but I don't really like the outlook for the Commanders right now. Brock Purdy with the toe injury, we'll see if he can go. That's going to be a week-long practice watch for us. They don't really – Kyle Shanahan has a way of just saying things without really saying anything that means anything. So we don't really have a good information stream on him. We have CJ Stroud with the concussion. He missed last week, of course. Davis Mills filled in and got the W. I think Stroud's going to play this weekend against Tennessee in Tennessee. Kyler Murray with that foot. I don't think he's going to play again for the Cardinals this year. It sounds like they're kind of moving on from him. He's got a lot of things to figure out. So I would drop Kyler Murray in a 1 QB league. Geno Smith got beat up pretty badly on Thursday Night Football last weekend. He's got a quad bruise. I think he's going to be fine, but the hits are starting to add up. Running backs, Bucky Irving. He's got the foot thing, which I think is fine. It's the shoulder issue now that they're kind of saying might be the main issue. He's not taking contact yet. He is running, which is good. That's why I think the foot thing's nice. But the shoulder to me means the contact. They don't want him taking hits on that shoulder just yet. So I think Dobbins is probably listed doubtful or Irving's probably listed doubtful for me this weekend. It'll be another start for Rashad White and some Sean Tucker in there against Buffalo. J.K. Dobbins, they are contemplating putting him on IR, which is a little frustrating. And not if you have R.J. Harvey. That's the clear winner here. But Dobbins, he did hurt his foot injury on Thursday Night Football. He did come back in that game, but again, they're already saying he might be out for a few weeks. So R.J. Harvey looks like he's going to get the shot. Chris Rodriguez scored a touchdown last weekend. It looked like he was kind of the soft starter over JCM. He left with a shoulder injury, unsure on his availability for this coming weekend. Don't really love the matchup for them. It's in Miami, whatever. But I do think Rodriguez is worth someone stashing, I think, for the long term. Hampton, we know he's got a potential return after their bye week in week 12. Ramondre Stevenson got in a limited practice today, so he has a chance to play Thursday night. Isaiah Pacheco, we think he has a chance to play fresh off that bye. I think Trey Benson's going to practice this week. That doesn't mean he's going to play, but I'd like to see some limited practices from him. He should be a waiver wire pickup if he's out there. Terrell Jennings, he started the game for the Patriots on Sunday, and then he left after 5 snaps. And then we get the huge breakout game from Travion Henderson. He did practice today, so we'll see if Jennings can play Thursday night. It might be annoying, though. If Stevenson, Jennings, and Hendo are all out there, that might be pretty annoying. So we'll watch for that report tomorrow. Samaje Perine had the high ankle injury. They were on bye last week. We'll see if he can practice this week. He's not going to be someone that we're too worried about, though. The wide receivers, Devontae Adams, he kind of pulled up on his back. I don't know if it was a back spasm or a back tweak or something happened, but he's going to be questionable for this weekend. Garrett Wilson expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks. He had missed a good amount of time, comes back from an injury in the first game. He re-injures the knee. So expected to miss about a good month of football. Not sure if we're going to see him again, too. If it gets down to the year and the Jets only have 3-4 wins, maybe they just shelve Garrett Wilson. We'll watch for Brian Thomas Jr. tomorrow with that high ankle. It is a low-grade high ankle, so there's a chance he does play this weekend. They already ruled out Terry McLaurin for the Madrid game, so no worries there. Oh, I have to update this because Travis Hunter had LCL surgery which I guess is good news. So the ACL and the MCL, those are more interior ligaments in the knee. The LCL is a piece of cartilage. I guess it's a ligament that connects cartilage on the outside of your knee, and that's not as bad as a surgery for him. So he's expected to recover in 6 months. I don't think we're going to see too long of a wait to get Hunter back on the field. Hopefully he's out there for OTAs in May for the Jags, and we'll see where he's going to be lining up. Romeo Doubs left early last night with a chest injury. We'll watch for his reports tomorrow. I'm assuming the Packers are going to have a lot of guys not practicing tomorrow, having played Monday night. They're going to probably give those guys an extra day of rest here before they practice for real on Thursday. Ricky Pearsall is going to practice this week. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's going to practice, so that's exciting. Chris Godwin should be dropped in redraft leagues, I think, with the fibula stuff. I just don't know if we're going to see him play at all this year. He's been pretty dinged up, and now with this fibula, we might have to just wait to see Godwin in 2026. Matthew Golden with the shoulder. He got a few limited practices in last week. I think he's more probable to play this weekend. They do need some receiver help right now. Mike Evans, again, returning after their future bye, week 13, 14 could be nice. Jaden Reed, expecting to see his practice window opened up maybe this weekend or next weekend. And again, when that practice window opens up, you get a 21-day window before they have to play a game for the rule to finally be in effect. So just because he's activated and his practice window is opened up does not mean he's going to play. It means they have 3 weeks to make a decision to get him on the active roster. I don't know if we're going to see Kayshon Boutte tomorrow night on a short week or on Thursday night on a short week. We'll watch for his participation. I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going to matter for fantasy this year. They've been pretty quiet with him. Marvin Mims probably back. Torrey Horton, we'll see if he can play. And then tight ends, Oronde Gadsden. He did have an MRI yesterday, but it came back fine. He's just got a bruised knee, it sounds like. So good news there. Dalton Kincaid is considered week to week, though, with that hamstring. So if you've been relying on Kincaid, we're going to have to look at Dawson Knox and a few other options at tight end this week. I think Kincaid's probably out 2 to 3 weeks. And then Bretton Strange, I believe they activated his practice window. He's got a good chance to play this weekend. So if you need a tight end, we've been calling Bretton Strange as the pickup for a while. If you do need a quarterback this week, CJ Stroud's going to Tennessee. And then this Rodgers versus Flacco game, Cincinnati-Pittsburgh could be a fun spot for you if you need a quarterback. Otherwise, maybe JJ McCarthy. Sam Darnold didn't look good last weekend, but they still, clobbered the Cardinals. But if you need a quarterback, those are my favorites there. Superflex leagues, you guys can stash some of these guys down here, but I just don't have a good feeling about anybody there at the moment. Again, it's not a great waiver wire week, guys. I think if you need a running back this week, Devin Singletary should have been picked up. Amari DiMercado could be picked up, but, Trey Benson's coming back. It's probably Chris Rodriguez, honestly. We're going to watch that shoulder injury, but he might be the starting running back for the Commanders. And then it's just handcuffs, whether it's Kareem Hunt, Tyler Algier. Tank Bigsby was involved last night, Bashal Tutin, Isaiah Davis. You guys can look at some of those handcuffs here. Devin Neal down here as well. I don't mind him for the Saints. There might be some receivers here for you guys, but these guys have been kind of hot names the last few weeks to pick up, whether it's Trey Tucker, Alec Pierce, Darius Slayton, Tez Johnson, Christian Watson, Parker Washington. Those guys are probably picked up in most competitive leagues. So Jaden Higgins is the name that I like there in deeper formats if you need them in a redraft. And I got some stash names for you guys there. Tight end, I'm assuming Harold Fannon's owned, but he would be the ideal add. Otherwise, Colston Loveland might have snuck through the waiver wire one more week here. He's a good add as well. But for the most part, you're looking at Juwan Johnson, Dalton Schultz, Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, and then maybe Cade Otton. Maybe Dawson Knox is a good pickup for the next couple weeks. And then here are your defenses if you guys need some defenses. And when I do these, I have to really wide net these guys. It's tough. Like so this is the Fellowship Money League. If we're looking for wide receivers here, that's where Jaden Higgins looks kind of good. That's where maybe Jameer DK, maybe Dontavian Wicks. It is pretty weak in a more competitive league. Like for running backs here, I guess maybe I'd go after Isaiah Davis. Maybe I'd go after Dylan Sampson. Just, like pure handcuffs. Jalen Wright did get some run last weekend too. Keaton Mitchell's getting some run. If you need a tight end this week, Dawson Knox is probably the main tight end pickup. I think Greg Dulcich is worth keeping an eye on. And then if you guys do need a defense, the Rams have been playing pretty well. I don't mind the Chiefs. It's in Denver, but I don't mind the Chiefs. The Cowboys, maybe a little bit of interest in the Cowboys at Las Vegas on Monday Night Football. And then again, if you need a quarterback this week, yikes. I guess I'm going Aaron Rodgers at home against Cincinnati. So there you guys have it, the waiver wire report for week 11. I'm going to get to the questions now. 2 teams on bye, the Colts and the New Orleans Saints. So good evening to Alex. We got a team for week 11 here. What do we think? We got Drake May, Henderson, Judkins, so rookie power at running back, JSN and Justin Jefferson. You got Trey McBride and Mika Ibuka. How many first-round picks did you – you got a hell of a draft. The bench is Woody, Bucky, Harvey, Wandale, Corum, Alec Pierce. Any changes, 10-man PPR? I think I'm comfortable with – we have to see if Ramondre and Jennings are going to play, that's going to lower my Henderson ranking. I'm playing Judkins for sure, but I might be – if Dobbins is indeed out, I might be moving up Harvey ahead of Henderson. But for now, I think you're going to leave this as it is. I'm pretty happy with those receivers. Obviously, McBride and May are fantastic. So I think you leave this as it is. But I might change Harvey if we get any kind of Ramondre or Terrell Jennings update on Thursday Night Football. Pittman or Metcalf rest of season, you have them right next to each other in your rankings. It's a preference call. I think Metcalf has been pretty frustrating, but equally so is Michael Pittman Jr. sometimes. I think when it comes down to it, I think I'm going to lean with the better offense. And I don't know who I have ranked higher, Harris. I'm assuming I have Michael Pittman Jr. ranked higher. I just did those this morning if you guys want to check it out. DK Metcalf down here at wide receiver 27 in full PPR. Like Michael Pittman's still playing pretty well. So I'm gonna lean Michael Pittman here. And I might even have to move Michael Pittman up. If I have him too low down by DK Metcalf, I might have to move Pittman up a notch or two. What are we doing at quarterback? If your quarterbacks are Joe Flacco and Mariota, you're going to ride this Joe Flacco wave until Joe Burrow comes back. I think Flacco, let's take a look at the Waka Flacco. He's probably projected a healthy amount of points this week. Where is my sweet Joe? Here he is. So, I mean, he's just been red hot, 30 points, 24, 25, 18. He's just been fantastic for the Bengals. You're going to get Pittsburgh, New England, Baltimore, and then maybe Buffalo. So you still have 3, maybe 4 games of Joe Flacco here. I think it doesn't really matter what his matchup is. I think you're going to keep playing him despite tough matchups or bad matchups, whatever it is. Like you want to keep Joe Flacco in your lineup. So we're going to ride Flacco for 3 more games. If you're looking for someone to stash for the fantasy playoffs, though, we can start looking at those schedules. You probably don't have access to a guy like Joe Burrow, but you do need to start looking down the road because I don't know if Marcus Mariota's maybe we do get Jaden Daniels back. Mariota, they do have a bye in week 12, so at least you have that covered with Flacco. But Mariota's schedule is Minnesota, the Giants. I don't hate those matchups for him. Philadelphia, Dallas. Like it's not a terrible schedule, but I do think, Harris, we want to start looking for somebody to maybe stash for the end of the season. Start looking down that road. Usually it's I want to establish starter on a team trying to make the playoffs. And good evening to Tony. Are we liking Chase Brown to go over 49.5 rushing yards against the Steelers with Pirine possibly out? We'll get an update tomorrow on Pirine. I think to me, it's a little too early to be locking in props. I want to see what other things are happening with whether it's the defense or the offensive line and things like that. But I do think the Bengals are coming in pretty healthy with this one. Chase Brown's they've been running the ball better since Joe Flacco came back to town here. Let me see. Chase Brown's last few games, 37, 73, 108, 42. So he's only hit that 2 out of 4 times with our guy Joe Flacco. I don't know if this is a great matchup for him. Steelers are pretty good against running back. They don't allow touchdowns at all. I'm going to hesitate here. I don't know if I feel good about this one quite yet. He's been under that number 2 times with Joe Flacco. Are we dropping Tez Johnson or Trey Tucker? I really like Trey Tucker because he's like the clear number 1 wide receiver. Like he's running all the snaps. He's getting all the routes, just the target. I mean, he did score a touchdown last week. Technically, they had an offensive interference call that negated it. But I think you're going to stick with Tez Johnson here. You're attached to Baker Mayfield. It's just a better offense. Tez has been playing really well the last month or so, catching touchdowns and making some big plays for Tampa Bay. So a lot of times it comes down to what's the better offense for me. So we're going to go Tez Johnson is the keeper. I guess I'll move on from Trey Tucker. Good evening to Double Tap. Tyler Lockett or AD Mitchell? I think with this Garrett Wilson news, I'm going AD Mitchell. I just, we're getting down to November, December. Lockett has not had a lot of run with the Titans, so he's still kind of fresh. I get that. And he's kind of the number 2, number 3 receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. But I think there's a legit chance that AD Mitchell could be just leading the Jets receivers from here on out in terms of snaps and routes and targets and everything there. So I'm going to take the upside swing. I'm assuming you don't need one of these players to start for you this weekend, because if I just need one guy for this week 11, I'm going Lockett. For rest of season, I'm going AD Mitchell. And Mitchell did not play last weekend. He didn't get any snaps or routes. But I think now we have to get him in the lineup for the Jets. Gabriel or Jay Fields, Superflex League, thinking of stashing Tyrod in hopes he takes over. Man, I think we finally got a good Dylan Gabriel game where he was throwing to wide receivers. He was throwing to Jerry Jeudy. He was throwing to the tight end. He finally got things moving in week 10. Granted, it was the New York Jets. This weekend, he's getting it's a softer matchup on paper here. Why did that not update here? I thought I had this updated. My charts did not update. I'll have to get those updated for you guys here. I do have the charts down here. But the Baltimore Ravens, they do rank 22nd. They are healthy, though, on defense. So I think this number of 18.93 points per game allowed, I think that's probably not as true as well as they're playing right now. They did limit J.J. McCarthy to 14 fantasy points. I don't know if there's a ton of ceiling with Gabriel. If you're just trying to play it safe, I think I'm taking Justin Fields tomorrow night with those legs. And I know they did not look good, but Browns defense is pretty good. It's tough to throw the ball. It's tough to run the ball. It's tough to do anything against the Browns defense. But I think I'm going to give Justin Fields a chance here. What do they got him at? They got him at 16.3 points. The 7, the 20, the 4, the 4. It's tough because just the history is not there for him to get a good start for us. But we see the ceiling, man, the 29, the 27, the 25, the 20. I think I risked the 4, 5, 6, 7 points because that's honestly, that's kind of the risk with Dylan Gabriel as well. So I think they have almost equal floor downside. I mean, Gabriel 20, 11, 5, 8, 16, it's kind of equal downside, but I don't see Gabriel able to hit almost 30 fantasy points. So I'm gonna go with Jay Fields one more week. And good. I guess it's I don't know the time zone difference there, but it's probably early morning hours, maybe 2, 3 a.m. So good evening to Tyler. Hope you're doing well, man, in Germany. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you, man. I hope you, I'm curious if you got to go to the game in Berlin and saw the Jonathan Taylor show. You can do Rodgers or trade for Herbert. I mean, if you could trade for Justin Herbert, I'm definitely open to looking into that, Harris. I don't know what it would cost, but I think Herbert, to me, he's a top 5 quarterback. He's been a top 5 quarterback all season. I mean, they're going to be getting Omari and Hampton back at some point. The Gadsden injury wasn't as severe, so they're still going to throw the ball a ton, and you're basically locking yourself into 20 fantasy points per game. So I do like the idea of maybe making a move for Herbert as long as you can afford it. I did want to pull up a couple things. I got to figure out why that didn't update, because I did update these stupid charts this morning. So I'll get these charts updated for you guys. It looks like one of them went through. Looks like, well, it's weird. It's showing him here. Huh. Weird. So I can see the charts there. It's just not working when I click on them. So, okay, I'll look into that back end stuff. My website did a weird update on me this weekend, and I'm still trying to work out the kinks. But we got a fun week ahead here. I'm not super excited about the Thursday night football game. Patriots, Jets, we're going to have to bear through it. But we do have some fun Sunday stuff coming up. Let me go to the DraftKings game lines here, and we'll talk about some things. Is this even going to work? Is this going to show week 10? Yeah, it's weird. It's showing week 10. But for this week, the Patriots are the biggest spread favorites, almost 12 points in this one. The Packers, 8.5-point favorites against the Giants. The Ravens are 8.5-point favorites at Cleveland. I like the Texans minus 7.5. I think that's one of the easier layups if you guys are playing in survivor pools or whatever this week. The Texans are probably a safe one to pick at Tennessee. That one does feel pretty good. As far as like the most explosive games, they have the Bengals and the Steelers as the highest implied total at 50.5. And then that Monday night game, Raiders Cowboys, that should be a lot of points, but Cowboys are going to be working in some new defensive players. Maybe that number stays low for Dallas's defense. I think I'm a little open to that. Tampa Bay and Buffalo, that's going to be one of the better games on Sunday as well. 49.5 in this one. It's in Buffalo. Hopefully the weather comes through okay. Arizona getting San Francisco. They need to rebound. San Francisco needs to rebound too. And then the Sunday night game, Detroit and Philly. That's going to be another fun NFC heavyweight battle here. And then we got the Vikings, the Bears. That's a good one. Rams, Seattle. And then we got some not so good games. I'm actually like the Chiefs, Broncos. That's going to be a really good game. I think that game's probably going to be on TV. We'll see. Chiefs are well rested. Broncos did not look good against the Raiders. We'll see what the Chiefs can do off the bye. Chargers, Jaguars. That one could be, I mean, they have this pretty low scoring, 43.5, but I think that one could be kind of fast paced. And then we got some really ugly games down here. So week 11, man, we are pretty excited. I got the waiver wire report done. I do have the start sit charts up if you guys are on the fantasyfellowship.com. If you guys are interested in checking it out, it's $8 a month. Otherwise, you guys can do the 2-week trial for $5. But you get the waiver wire report. I upload those on Monday. The start sit charts get uploaded. I think I did that this morning, Monday or Tuesday. I usually get those out for the week. Rest of season rankings are out on Tuesdays. Post-game notes are out Monday and Tuesday as well, which is the snaps, the routes, the charts, and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be my weekly rankings update. So check that stuff out. And then we do dynasty ranking updates once a month. But if I don't have any more questions, I'm going to get out of here for the evening, guys. Again, it's a pretty weak waiver wire week. I think we're officially at that point in the season where if you aren't 1 or 2 weeks ahead, you're behind. So that's why, again, all the names that I have here on the waiver wire, these are all guys that should have been picked up in the last week or two. So it's time to start thinking ahead 1 to 2 weeks. Fantasy playoffs are right around the corner. It's going to be Thanksgiving before we know it, and then we're into December, and all of a sudden it's week 15. So start stockpiling. Like Harris was asking a good question, like, what should I do with my quarterbacks? Like, we got to start looking deeper down the line and figuring out, what are we going to be doing weeks 14, 15, 16, 17. So check out the fantasyfellowship.com, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate your time. Tomorrow night we'll go live at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll do the start sits. I'll go over the player news, the injury notes, everything that you guys need to know. But good luck with your waiver wires tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow evening. Have a good night. Peace.